welcome to Fearless Finances, where I try to take the fear out of your finances. Today we're talking about Trump's recession. Yeah, we get to name it right after him because you know what? He's making it. He is doing stuff to a perfectly good economy to wreck it. And this is the interesting thing. I'm not sure what we get out of it. Like, what is the benefit? Why are we putting ourselves through a recession? I think we should take a look at it. So, let's get to it. Apparently, I'm not the only one who's wondering what we get out of this recession. Like, why must we go through this pain? Why must we take an economy that's doing well for most people and then put it into a recession? What is the point of that? In fact, many economists agree. And yet, people from the Trump administration say these things. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, has said Mr. Trump's policies are worth it, even if they cause a recession. This was quoted in this New York Times article, and I read the article. Mr. Lutnick never told us how it's worth it. Like, they keep saying we'll get manufacturing jobs back, but there's really no guarantee of that, and I don't know about you. I don't want to work as a manufacturer. I would rather have good education so that we can have good scientists, we can have great colleges, but that happens to be all the stuff they're not funding anymore. Back to the article. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, has said the economy may need a detox period after becoming dependent on government spending. I think we should actually take Scott Bessent's comment and break it down a little bit. I think it might be a good idea. What do you think, Scott? I don't know what he thinks, because I think, well, let me try to be kind here. I think they're a bunch of idiots. Selfish, ignorant, non-economists, business people who only see things from one side. Let's talk a little bit about this dependent on government spending. Governments have a different responsibility than any other entity. They're not in it for the profits, like a business. And unlike your personal finances where you're seeking security, that's not a government's role either. The government's role is to provide security to us, to actually ensure that our civil liberties are protected, that we are provided with an environment that we can thrive. This means it's a good idea for a government to take care of the land and the air, and to make sure businesses don't harm us, to also make sure that we have the opportunity to get from here to there, and that people in the boundaries of this nation are treated equally and with respect. These are not things that this government is doing. In fact, those are the things that they're taking from us. And in exchange for taking them from us, they seem to want us to pay the same taxes. I personally, and I don't know about you, but I would like a weather service, a Consumer Protection Bureau, an FTC with people who actually care about following up on corruption. I'd love good schools. You know what else I would love? DEI, because I love everyone. I love people who are brown and black and trans. I love all the letters. I love the whole rainbow. I love everybody. And since we are the richest nation of the world, I think we could do a better job of making people feel happy and comfortable and safe. Those are things that I think governments do, but that's not what our government is doing. Now, I'm not sure why Scott Bessent thinks that we would continue to pay taxes to a government who does not do what they said they should do. This is a democracy. You have somebody who represents you, who's looking out for your best interests, and I have somebody who represents me, who's looking out for my best interest. And we might vote for different people, and that's good. That's great. Then they can discuss what's the best. But I don't think that Trump, Besant, Musk, or any of these other folks actually think about what's best for us. I think they think about what's best for them and their billionaire buddies. Now, I don't know where these billionaires are thinking something good's going to come out of this. Because when they take too much from us, we have less to spend and all their businesses suffer. This is what happened in the Great Depression. Businesses failed. Banks ran out of money because there were no safety nets. There was no FDIC back then. And do you know what else? And I'm going to make this one clear. I'm super sorry to interrupt. But if you're liking this content, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I am trying to build up this channel and you can help me. If you'd also like this video, it'll make sure it gets out to other people who also will probably like this content. And if there happen to be other topics you'd like me to create content about, or if you have some questions or concerns about the material in this video, comment below. I'd love to chat with you and get to know you better. Now, back to the regular program. Republicans, for 3 years, sat on their behinds and did nothing to help the American people. You know what they did? They did more tariffs. That's what they did. And do you think that helped? Yeah. The people watching this channel know the answer to that. It did not help. The final lovely quote that I pulled out of this article, and of course, I put the actual link for the article in the doobly-doo, so you may read the whole thing. Mr. Trump has said there will be a period of transition as his policies take effect. Okay. I'm unsure why you didn't tell that to people, Mr. Trump. Because last I heard, people wanted their prices to go down. You promised them. Do you know what else you promised them? You promised them less wars. Seems to me none of that's working either. There's no need for a recession. We don't need manufacturing jobs. What do you think? We're a bunch of lemmings? I mean, some people want manufacturing jobs and they want to be well paid for it. That's great. But there was nothing wrong with what we had going on. In fact, Joe Biden had signed an infrastructure act, putting a lot of people back to work and giving money to corporations to expand certain areas of technology. All of this would help propel the United States into the next century. But instead, you repealed that with a strike of your pen, which, by the way, I don't believe you can because Congress enacted it. At this stage, I'm done talking to Mr. Trump. This isn't going to get better till we make it better. I don't know what some of those people up on Capitol Hill are thinking when they keep saying things like in the 2026 election. We are not going to get to the 2026 election. Have you seen what this man and his administration are doing? Listening to this, thinking that any measure of this is okay, because it is not. That there are some Trump sympathizers out there who are still on some nutty bandwagon. They went from I need cheaper eggs to we need to suffer for a while. What is happening? We do not need to suffer at all. This is what happens when you put a narcissist into the White House who actually tried to overthrow the government and told you repeatedly that he was just on a mission of retribution. I thank God that we're in this together, because this is what we got, each other. Take us taking to the streets and taking our government back.
Now, this is Donald Trump's biggest nightmare. The fascist leaders who he admires are all being cornered right now. People are rising up against them. Take a look at what's going on in Budapest, in Hungary, where Viktor Orban, Donald Trump's buddy, is losing badly in the polls. And people right now are in Budapest by the tens of thousands telling Orban to resign. Watch this. And here is Orban's rival, the main opposition leader, who is going to bring down Orban. Watch this.
Vége van, eltársak, vagy ha jobban értitek, továrisi kanyec.
And by the way, I'll translate it for you. He said, "It's over for you, comrade." Let's take a look at what's going on in Belgrade, in Serbia, where the Vučić regime, allied with Vladimir Putin there, is now facing massive uprisings and massive protests there. Let's take a look at what's going on in Belgrade. Now, they say tens of thousands. It looks like hundreds of thousands of people to me. And I think this is foreshadowing what I've said is going to happen, which I call it the summer of democracy here in the United States. Donald Trump's looking at this and he's like, am I next? Here, play this clip.
Doesn't take a big number. 3.5%. That's what they say. If 3.5% of us take to the streets in an unwavering fashion, it's not an afternoon, people. We can't just stop out there when it's convenient. We have to take back democracy. And this takes 3.5% of us being unrelenting about what is right and what is wrong. That we have a constitution, that Trump has no mandate, that we are the people and this is our government. And there's more of us who believe that empathy is part of wisdom. Empathy makes us better. Empathy makes us stronger. Did you hear that, Musk? We are not the parasite class. We built this nation, Mr. Elon Musk. You are an immigrant. You came here because it is the land of opportunity. We know how to build opportunity. We know how to build prosperity and abundance. You do not, and neither do these other people. I don't know when this is going to happen, when we'll need to take to the streets, but in my opinion, it's going to have to happen soon. For me, sooner's better than later. They keep doing gross, horrible things. They keep hurting people, and they keep allowing people to be hurt. It's not okay. They're threatening the entire world. There is hope. We're on a good team, and I hope more Trump supporters begin to see that they're really not going to help them. So do me a favor. Jot some comments below and let me know what you think about all of this, the 3.5%. And by the way, in the United States, our population's about 330 million. This would be about 12 million of us, 13 million. If you're somebody who doesn't want to get too involved, that's all right. We'll take care of it for you. But I'd rather see you there. The more of us that band together, the stronger we're all going to feel. Because I don't think they understand there's strength in numbers. And we got that. If you'd like to know a little bit more about a Republican response that I sent out, click right there, and I'll be seeing you again soon.